If you're having a rough time in the industry right now, you're not alone. I keep hearing the same two stories. People applying for job after job and hearing nothing back, and then freelancers and agency owners finding the work isn't arriving the way that it used to. It's tempting to blame the economy, AI, or whatever headline is currently doing the rounds. And sometimes those things are genuinely part of the story. However, one factor we can actually control is whether people outside of our immediate team know who we are, what we're good at, and what we care about. You see, most opportunities come through other people. Clients often hire because somebody they trust said, "Oh, you should talk to this person." And to be honest, many people hiring for jobs do exactly the same thing. Even if you're not looking for a new job or chasing a new client, your reputation still very much matters. It shapes your credibility in the role that you're doing right now. Because if colleagues can see that you're well respected outside of your organization and they can see that you're sharing your expertise in public, even if quietly, they tend to respect you a little bit more. It tends to raise your internal credibility too. Now, that doesn't mean you need to become some kind of internet personality. It means that you just need to be findable and referenceable and relatable. When people hear the term building your personal brand, they often picture loud self promotion, forced networking, or never ending content treadmills. And so it's no wonder that people feel itchy and uncomfortable with the idea. A lot of the resistance comes from perfectly reasonable places. They feel self promotion is really awkward and difficult, or networking can feel fake, and imposter syndrome is constantly whispering in their ear that they've got nothing to offer anyway. Fortunately, there is a gentler route. You can build your reputation just by being useful consistently. Now, what does that look like in practice? Well, it means posting thoughtful experiences and even half formed ideas on social networks and then sticking around to engage with the responses rather than just broadcasting. It means helping set up local meetups and getting involved in the things that are happening in your area. It means chipping in regularly in Slack groups, forums, and Discord communities. It involves being active on LinkedIn by commenting thoughtfully on other people's posts and occasionally even having quiet chats in DMs. The point here is not volume, either in terms of the number of things that you're putting into the world, or indeed the amount that you shout online. It's about being present and engaged with the broader community. Now, that said, I know what you're thinking. I don't have anything worth saying. And if you've ever thought of that, then welcome to the club. But it's a matter of reframing that thinking. Instead of saying, I have to share best practice, you can write things like, in a client meeting this week, we ran into a problem and this is how we handled it. Or we tried this approach recently and it didn't really work. Here's what we'd do differently next time. Or something like a stakeholder pushed back on user research and this is the argument that helped. You see, nobody can reasonably attack you for reporting what happened and what you learned. You're not claiming to be some kind of all knowing oracle of UX. You're just being the person doing the work. In fact, the stuff you struggle with can be just as useful as the stuff you've mastered. People are often far kinder than the brain would predict they might be, especially when you shared something that you'd learned the hard way. A lot of what I share online comes straight out of conversations that I've had. Like most people these days, I record my meetings, and when I grab the transcript, afterwards, I can ask an AI tool to identify a few themes that might make useful posts. And it's surprising how often that boring meeting that you've convinced yourself has no value whatsoever contains an insight that will help somebody somewhere. Now, of course, if you do this, you've got to be sensible about confidentiality. You need to strip out any client details and keep it focused on the pattern, not on the specifics of that organization. There's another benefit to doing all of this that gets overlooked as well, which is when an idea is shared, even if it's a bit half formed, you're forced to clarify what you mean, find the edges of what you think, and you will learn faster because you're actually teaching. Writing is basically thinking with friction. It's annoying, but it works. AI makes our lives so much easier and it's giving us the answer to any question we might have, and that's useful, but there are risks associated to it as well. If all we do is consume, we slowly lose the community spirit that made the early web so valuable. Just think about something like Stack Overflow. We used to use that all the time and we try and help each other out. But now you can just ask AI. So that community spirit is lost. So I would suggest a simple goal for 2026. Try being a little less of a spectator and a little more of a participant.